How's it going, my dudes? Welcome back to another Calibria Crystal Guardians video. Okay, so for today, we are going to be... Wait, where's the repeat button? Oh, wait, what? Where's the repeat button? Okay, anyway, today we're going to take a look at the Lawful Guard, alright? Because the last time I touched on the Chaotic Guard, and I think that that's actually the easiest guard out of all the 3 different guards that's available, okay? Not only based on the difficulty of the boss, but also based on the kind of units that you can bring into the fight. Okay, so for this fight, I'm just gonna bring in Popo, Celine, Yaksha. I'll explain why Yaksha. Windwalker, Goblin, and Athena. Okay, so all these, they are generally not very hard to come by. These heroes are generally not hard to come by. Okay, Celine, you can easily replace it with a Druid as well. Popo, he's just here for defense breaks. That's all. Defense breaks and tanking. That's all. Okay, you can replace him with even Draconian Princess. Okay, so without further ado, the only reason why I'm using Yaksha is because of the hit percent lead. That's basically it. That's simply all the reason there is to use Yaksha here. Hey my dude, sorry, okay, this is post-edit, free to play over here. I forgot to... Whoa, be loud. Okay, so as I was doing my edit, and then I realized that I forgot to talk about the first 2 skills, okay? Ice Rush 1, Unleash a blast of frozen energy at all enemies in the front row. Skill affects targets with a 2-tier Frost 1 effect which may not be resisted, deals higher damage as fewer targets are attacked. If no enemies are in the front row, attack the targets in the back row. Okay, so this is a standard skill 1 for all the guards. And skill number 2, Ice Tempest. Unleash a blast of frozen energy to attack all enemies, slows targets for 2 turns and affect them with a 2-tier Frost 1 effect which may not be resisted. Okay, so the difference here is that there is a slow on skill 2, so that's about it. For this guard, I'm gonna go through with it a little bit differently. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the third skill that he has. It's a passive. Okay, Unleash a blast of frozen energy to attack all enemies 5 times. Skill is triggered each time own HP is reduced by 35%. Okay, take note that this is every time his HP is reduced by 35%. Okay, it doesn't mean that when he reaches a threshold, he will use this skill. Okay, so what's important about this skill is after this skill is used, he actually recovers 5% of his own max HP, okay? He recovers 5% of his own max HP and 0.2% HP for each tier of Frost active on enemies, blah, 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 okay? So in a perfect world, let's assume that the Frost doesn't exist on your allies, okay? Because you can actually get rid of all the Frost debuffs just by taking more turns, okay? So in a perfect world, let's say there are no Frost 1 active on my team, okay? So if we drop his HP down to 35%, sorry, I mean 65%, right? He will do the spinning attack, which you will see pretty soon. And when he does that, he will heal 5% of his HP. Okay, and this heal, okay, even though the passive here says removes all own negative status effects and then you recover HP, actually if you have heal blocks, you will prevent that heal. Okay, you will prevent that heal. However, this doesn't mean that without a heal block, he heals and then you drop him by another 5% and then he starts spinning again and you end up in an endless circle unless you have a heal block. Okay, this is very different from the magic dungeon, okay? In the magic dungeon, when the boss drops by 50%, he will do his crazy regenerating attack, which can be quite annoying and it can wipe you in some situations, alright? But this is not the same mechanic here, okay? So if he drops down to 35%, look, he doesn't have a heal block on him, right? Because there's no heal blocks on my team. He will actually do the spin. He will heal his HP by 5%. Is it coming? Or has he done it? Has he done it? Did he do it? Okay, yeah, here we go. So that's the spin, that's the heal. However, you will notice that if we drop him by another 5%, he will not do the spin again, okay? So that's because currently he's at 65 and then he healed to 70%. So the next time he's going to spin is when he reaches a threshold of 35% HP remaining, okay? That's because he currently has 70% HP. Further 35% more of that HP loss will result in him doing yet another spin. So, as such, the very moment that you fail to heal block him, he is guaranteed to spin 3 times. Okay, so what I mean is, let's say in a perfect world, another perfect world where your heal blocks just keep coming. Okay, just keep coming. You keep making sure that he doesn't get heal blocked. When he drops to 65%. He'll spin, he won't heal, okay? And then when he drops to 30%, he'll spin, but he won't heal again. And then he won't have another chance of spinning again. Isn't it right? That's right? Okay, so yeah, that's because you can't have negative 5% HP. I shouldn't be explaining that. But let's say you fail to heal block once. Okay, you fail to heal block once. What happens is he heals at 65% HP to 70% HP, and then when you drop him down to 35% again, you better make sure that you get a heal block there, because otherwise, he will heal to 40%, and which that means that the moment you drop him to 5% HP, right, 40 minus 35 is 5, the moment you drop him to 5% HP, he'll do a third spin, okay, so you better make sure that, basically the game gives you like a one chance to miss a heal block. Okay, in a perfect situation where there isn't a frost debuff, okay, I haven't talked about what a frost debuff does, but in a perfect world where there isn't a frost debuff, on your teammates, like currently my team is totally cleansed of the frost debuff, right? Chances are you are only given one chance to fail a heal block, after which, if you fail a heal block again, when he does the spin, he's gonna spin 3 times, okay? So I think he just spins at most 3 times. I don't think it's possible for him to spin 4 times unless your team is way too slow. Okay, so let's take a look at the rest of his skills. Okay, so what does the Frost do? Okay, it's the 5th passive right here, Lawful Body, is kind of the same. All the guards, they have the same skill, okay? Immune to negative status effects, except blah 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 blah. When being hit by chaotic enemies, you know, yeah, you take extra 25% when you're attacking evil heroes, you increase the damage you deal by 25%. And then this is his 4th skill. All skills that rely on target's percent. Rip. Okay, let's do this again. I wish that there was a repeat button though. So there isn't a repeat button. Okay, so here is actually my other lineup. It's not a problem actually. This is my heal blocking lineup. Alright, this is my heal blocking lineup because I have my Draconian Princess over there and I have the Una, right? I have Una over here. So she's gonna be able to heal block as well. So having 2 heal blocks is kind of a necessity, but let's take a look at his passive again. Here's his 4th skill, Ice Field. Okay, all skills that rely on, yeah, this kind of same. You don't really do very well doing HP scaling damage, but I'm using Goblin because I don't really have any other chaotic type DPS. Okay, at the start of battle, affect all enemies with 2-tier frost effect, which may not be resisted and cannot be erased, so you cannot cleanse it. Each tier of Frost 1 reduces target's max HP by 4%, 4%, and increases the damage that they receive by 8%. So this is really huge. You want to get rid of all the Frost debuffs as fast as you can. So naturally, you want to have a Windwalker. It's not a very good idea to bring a Demonic Swordsman because of his typing. He might die really easily, okay? Frost 1 effect may not be erased by enemies' actions, but 1 tier will disappear when they gain 100 energy. So that's what I'm saying. Whenever you take a turn, you actually remove 1 stack of that Frost, okay? So the idea here is to take a lot of turns and land a lot of heal blocks, okay? But I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about the heal block issue later, okay? So that's it for his 4th skill, and the 3rd skill, I've talked about this. You recover an additional 0.2% HP for each tier of Frost 1 active on enemy. So if you're chock full of you're chock full of the Frost debuff, when he does a spin, he's actually going to heal a lot more. Well, not really a lot more, but it could be a game-changing factor, okay? So assuming that, you know, you fail to heal block him once, so he heals himself back to 70% HP, right? Which is going to be, I think, around now, actually. I think he's actually... Oh, okay, good. Okay, so I landed a heal block. That's great. So, let's say you fail to heal block once, then he recovers to 70% HP, right? But let's say your team had a lot of Frost debuffs on you at the same time. He's not just going to be 70% HP. He's going to be like maybe 72% HP, you know? So that 72% HP, that 2% right there, is going to be is going to ruin you, because... It's not really going to ruin you, but he's going to be able to spin 3 times, because when he drops down to 2% HP, he's gonna spin a 3rd time. Alright. I mean, that's assuming that you manage to heal block or whatever subsequently down the road. So the thing is, the Frost debuff, it could kind of ruin you in a sense that he's just gonna heal so much that he's still gonna spin anyway. So there are actually 2 ways to do the Lawful Guard, okay? And I know my units are not optimal. They are not optimal. Some people use Holy Swordsman, which I agree is actually a really fantastic strategy. For various reasons, okay, but for the sake of like introducing you into the Lawful Guard and teaching you how to handle the Lawful Guard, okay, I lost my train of thought. GG. Okay, what was I saying? Okay, yeah, there are 2 main ways to deal with him. Okay, one way is to bring heal blocks. All right, pretty straightforward. The reason is clear. If you bring heal blocks, he's only going to spin twice. And then you have a much faster run, because if he spins less, he actually heals less as well. Okay, so with heal blocks, you're going to make sure that not only are you ensuring that he spins less, you are also ensuring that he doesn't heal as much. Okay, so if he does spin 3 times and he heals in all the 3 situations, you're actually going to have to fight him for another 15% more. Okay, so I know I'm rambling a little bit on this, but the other alternative is to actually bring like a lot of DPS. Okay, if you have a lot of chaotic DPS, bring them. Okay, bring all the chaotic DPS and just keep slapping him down, because the thing is, as long as you're able to sustain one single spinning attack from him, you're going to be able to sustain 3 spins from him. Okay, so all that really matters is the speed at which you reduce his HP. Does that make sense as compared to bringing a heal block? But if the thing is, if you bring a heal block, you may be compensating on your DPS a little bit. Okay, unless you're bringing characters like Angel of Death, who has heal block and she also does decent damage, then you may consider. I think Angel of Death is actually one of the better options out there. Yeah, so I don't have an Angel of Death anymore. Okay, I've already converted her away. But she is actually a pretty good option. Yeah, I would say that if I still had her, I would definitely use her for DPS and heal block. There's a very good combination over there. Okay, so yeah, you can bring all the heal blocks. But yeah, like I said, you're going to compensate on the DPS if you bring heal blockers, because if, let's say, I bring my Una and let's say I bring my Draconian Princess, they both have few blocks, but the thing is, they're not going to be doing a lot in terms of the DPS sector. So there is that. Okay, I'm not going to do Lawful Chimera because frankly I don't think I'm capable of doing it, or rather I don't want to have to spend like 15 minutes watching my team go against the Chimera itself. Okay, but these are the quads that he drops. You get prayer quads for the Chimera itself. Okay, for the guard you don't have the prayer, that's all. You also get counter quads, blessing quads, attack quads, wild quads, agile quads. So it's basically all the Colossus drops from the Chimera and the guard here. Okay, so there you go. I heard that, you know, these runes, these prayer runes, or like all these runes that they drop, right? They sell for a lot. I heard. I have realized that as well. Like I do have a few of these runes for myself, based on wherever I got them from. And yeah, they do sell for quite a big amount, so it is quite a legit strategy to actually focus more on the Lair instead of, I mean, if your Catacombs is done, maybe you can start focusing on the Lair because of the monetary gains that you can get from this place. Okay, so this is where you get all the quads. Okay, if you want to upgrade your runes further, I'm currently looking for agile quads because I want to give my characters more speed, right? So hopefully that happens along the way. Yeah, Angel of Death, I was just saying, right? Okay, I do not know why people can actually run Demonic Swordsman, but I've tried and mine frankly wasn't doing so well. Popo is very good. Windwalker, like I said, very, very good because you get to remove the debuffs, right? The frost debuffs on you really frequently. Like you can see in my team, I'm barely running with a frost debuff. Okay, and then Celine, typical, just healer with a slow. So that's Celine. Necromancer is okay if you want to get rid of the slow debuffs that are on your team every once in a while. You know, Dragoon, I'm not sure why Dragoon. Yeah, I'm really not sure why Dragoon. Okay, maybe because of her passive heal, right? Heal your whole team. Shaman, I guess just to increase the damage that the boss takes, right? Blah 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 blah. Yeah, so these are the heroes that people generally use. Okay, they're all net 5s and LDs. Wow, big surprise. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a thumbs up, leave a like. Sorry, wait. What did I say? Leave a thumbs up, leave a like. Yes, leave both, and comment down below what your team is, and of course subscribe if you have not. Okay, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.